everyone. This is black man Zakaos from Paris. I've been here for about 2.5 months, and it's been very difficult. I haven't made any recordings because, well, honestly, because the first squat I came to, the French people weren't too nice. I had my laptop broken there, so that's why I haven't been able to make recordings. I had my video camera broken there. I guess they just wanted me to leave, and my stuff just came up broken where I was sleeping, and I don't know. So this is the first recording and my first YouTube video in about 2.5 months. The last recordings were in the refugee center. So just to let you know what happened, when I got out of the refugee center, I was escorted from Romania under police escort, and they gave my passport to the pilot. The cops allowed me to go to Paris because legally they were supposed to send me back to the United States, but basically I told them who I was and what I do and what I'm about, and I gave them my YouTube channel, and I just told them they weren't shit for not doing anything about the smuggling of women and children, and they had never had anyone talk to them like this and tell them truthfully about what goes on in their own country to their own sisters and brothers, and it's sad. So they allowed me to get a ticket to Paris, which was not legal, and they gave me no interdiction. They just said I have to leave the country in 24 hours, and they didn't fine me 600 euros. They waived that, and they let me purchase a ticket to Paris. So I've been here 2.5 months. The first thing I did when I got here was I looked into filing for diplomatic asylum. I got a caseworker, and I had to wait a month. But when I got to Paris, I didn't have any place to stay. The person that said I could stay with him, his roommate, said I couldn't stay with him, so I got off the plane and went to the customs office. They called the Romanian office people, whatever, and they didn't stamp my passport. They just let me in the back door of Paris, and they said, "Welcome to Paris." The Romanian officials said I was the best and told them who they're dealing with, and the custom officers said, "Welcome to Paris." So after that, I didn't have a place to stay because my friend kind of, well, not my friend, but his roommates let me down. So I emailed a priest, and he sent me a number and an address of Saint Sulpice. So my first place to come in Paris was Saint Sulpice, and it was interesting. It was beautiful. I didn't have a place to stay, so the church gave me 50 euros to get a hotel room, so I did. And then my friend found me a place in a squat. But the first 3 days I spent running around going to, I don't know, French places for social relations and for some kind of social help and to file for refugee status. I ended up going to the refugee building, and they told me the laws have changed and they're getting really strict, so I have to go to a caseworker and blah 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 blah. So I got a caseworker, got an appointment. It took about a month for me to get the appointment to go back and see her, and then she tells me that if my fingerprints were ran in any other country in the EU, that I would have to wait 6 months for a year to hear back from that country if they will want me as a refugee. Well, my fingerprints were taken in Romania when I became a refugee when my visa ran out. So I'm kind of stuck like Chuck. So I didn't have the 6 euros that I also needed for the little photos to go and take the pictures that they need to get into the refugee asylum building. So it was kind of a blessing. I told her, she told me to call her when I had the 6 euros to take the pictures to file, but I didn't file because I decided I don't want to be here 6 months. I mean, my experiences have been literally a living hell in this country. I have about a few people, two people I can trust. A few days ago, I was sleeping on the streets. A week and a half ago, I was attacked by some Nazi punks at another squat. Almost had my arm broken. As I was speaking about earlier, I had all my equipment has been broken. It's pretty crazy. I mean, I was on the streets in Romania, and I maintained to keep all my equipment okay. That's why I was able to do my videos. But I come to Paris, and I try to find a place in a squat, and lo and behold, I'm having to use the squat computer and to make this recording and stuff, and an online movie maker. So anyways, to make a long story short, I've been bouncing around from squat to squat. It's been nightmare after nightmare. Drunk people, a lot of drugged out people. It's really sad. I got to meet some really good artists, some really hateful people, some really vengeful, really angry, drunk people. It's been pretty crazy. I'm still in pain. My leg from my last attack. Now let me explain to you what happened at the Mirror Tree, which is a pretty famous squat in Paris, and it's been open for 12 years. Just for the record, the government is trying to shut them down because they have had lots of problems from the punks, I guess, because the punks like to beat up people. And they have several lawsuits pending on that squat because people have been severely beaten at that squat. Now, I didn't have a place to stay, and a friend of mine told me I should go there, and knows one of the people that helped start the squat. And so I went there, and I talked to this great girl named Sonia, and we agreed that I would put my art. Yeah, I'm an artist. You can see, probably looking at it right now. That I could put my art in the gallery, because in order for them to stay open, they need to prove that they're artists. So there's a gallery in the front of the squat that's really never open. So I was supposed to run that. But lo and behold, I'm there for like 3 days, and I think it was the second or third day, some punk guy named Pat comes and screaming at me in French and starts telling me to leave while I'm working on one of my pieces to sell. And I just said, man, calm down. What's your problem? What's your name? I didn't even know his name at the time. And he just tells me to fuck off, and he just gets a chair and hits me with the chair. Just like that, and I blocked it with my arm. I mean, he went for my head. It's a really heavy chair, too. So then everyone came, and they were like, wow. And so another beating, I guess, so I could have pressed charges, but I didn't. So to make a long story short, the punks ended up losing their Saturday night, and it was given to the jazz guys that do Sundays. So I'm there for like 3 more days, and the punks have their week, and I think it was like a Thursday, last Thursday, or Thursday before last. I don't know. My head is so like mashed up right now. But anyway. A very famous, well-known graphic artist, graffiti artist, whatever, named Popeye, who's also a Nazi punk, comes over and just tells me to leave, and I say, man, what's the problem? And he starts yelling at me, and I didn't understand anything. He starts yelling at me in French, and again, I'm working on a piece, and he comes and he leaves, and then he comes back with a big, huge piece of wood that's carved like a huge bat, like a caveman bat. And he hit me in my arm, and he tries to hit me in my stomach. I blocked it. I got a lot of splinters in my hand. I mean, it's didn't faze me. He starts spitting on me. Pat comes over. Pat starts spitting on me, and that I just like, what the fuck, Nazis? And Pat says, yeah, I'm proud of it, and blah 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 blah. And so they realized that they couldn't really hurt me, So a bigger guy, their friend that takes capoeira, because also there's a capoeira school there. He's about 6'3", 6'2". Picks up one of these big, huge things that you wrap cable around. They use it as a table. Well, he threw it on me. After that, I called a friend to call the cops. Cops came. I got my art that was locked up in the art gallery, and I got my bag that was locked up in another studio, and they took me to a hospital. I took x-rays, and on my way to the hospital, the cops told me that's it for them, because once I file my report, they already have enough problems. They'll be closed down. So I went to the doctor's office, waited there with a friend. Thank you. She was great. And took x-rays, and he gave me some painkillers and gave me a thing to put up my arm, and I didn't press charges because, I mean, I don't know, in Paris there's a thing I'm noticing. They have no problem with putting people out in the streets. I mean, I've been to squats, and I can really understand why the president is actually shutting them down, because, I mean, the squats are supposed to help homeless people and people that don't have money and people that don't have a place to stay. And from what I've seen from my personal experience, they're creating homeless people. I mean, it's really, really sad to say, but I mean, the experiences that I've seen and that I've gone through in Paris these last 2 months, I really miss Romania. And sleeping out on the streets, you know, a few times, more than a few times in Paris. I never thought I would sleep in the streets of Paris, but lo and behold, I have. I'm sleeping in abandoned buildings in Paris, and I have. These experiences will never change. This is how it is. This is life. And I mean, these people have no problem with putting other people that have no money, no place to go, that's honestly a refugee. I mean, I can't file for work status. I can't do anything. I have to make money on the black market to get a ticket to get out of here, because I have to go somewhere that's out of the EU to file for refugee status, and this is the plan. But it's I don't know. I don't speak French, and they're super rude when you don't speak French. So anyways, this is what's been going on in Paris. It's been a nightmare. I mean, it's nothing like I dreamed, and I actually miss Bucharest and living in the snow and making videos of the female cartel. It's been hell here. But thank you for your time, and I'm going to upload the video, and I'll make a new one when I can. This is Black Man reporting from Paris. It's been a nightmare. Be blessed. Thank you for your time. We're broken there. I guess they just wanted me to leave, and my stuff just came up broken where I was sleeping, and I don't know. So this is the first recording and my first YouTube video in about 2.5 months. The last recording. Hello, everyone. This is Black Man Zakaos from Paris. I've been here for about 2.5 months, and it's been very difficult. I haven't made any recordings because, well, honestly, because the first squat I came to, the French people weren't too nice. I had my laptop broken there, so that's why I haven't been able to make recordings. I had my video cameras were in the refugee center. So just to let you know what happened, when I got out of the refugee center, I was escorted from Romania under police escort, and they gave my passport to the pilot. The cops allowed me to go to Paris because legally they were supposed to send me back to the United States, but basically I told them who I was and what I do and